Lisa Martinez stood on the bridge of her cargo ship, watching the stars through the thick glass. The New Horizon was not a big ship, but it was home. She had bought it 3 years ago with her friends after they left the military. Now they carried supplies to the outer colonies, making enough money to live well. "Captain, we got a problem," said Jake Brooks from his seat. He was looking at his screen with worried eyes. Jake had been her friend since they were kids. He was also her second in command. "What kind of problem?" Lisa asked. She walked over to look at his screen. The display showed red dots moving toward them fast. "Pirates. 3 ships coming in hot. They want us to stop and give them our cargo." Lisa felt her heart beat faster. Pirates were bad news out here in the empty space between stars. The Zarian Nebula was known for this kind of trouble. She should have taken a longer route, but time was money. "Amy, get ready down in medical," Lisa said into her radio. "Doctor." Amy Foster was their ship's doctor. She was small but tough and could fix almost any wound. "Ryan, how much power can you give me?" Lisa called to the engine room. "All she's got, Captain," came the reply from Chief Engineer Ryan Clark. His voice was calm, but Lisa could hear the worry in it. The first pirate ship came in shooting. Red laser beams cut through space toward them. Lisa threw the New Horizon into a hard turn. The old ship groaned, but held together. "They're trying to disable us, not destroy us," Jake said. "They want the cargo intact." Lisa nodded. That gave them a chance. Pirates wanted to steal, not kill if they could help it. But these pirates had picked the wrong ship to mess with. Lisa had been a Marine for 8 years before becoming a cargo captain. She knew how to fight, and she knew how to make hard choices. Earth people were different from most aliens in the galaxy. They were stronger, faster, and could take more pain. Other species called Earth a death world because everything there was dangerous. "There's a civilian transport nearby," Jake said, pointing at his screen. "Family ship with kids on board." Lisa saw the transport. It was small and had no weapons. The pirates would grab it next if they finished with the New Horizon. She could not let that happen. "Jake, plot a course to ram the biggest pirate ship," she said. "Captain, that's crazy. We'll die." "Maybe, but those kids won't. Do it." Jake's hands moved over his controls. He trusted Lisa, even when her plans seemed impossible. They had been through too much together to doubt each other now. The New Horizon turned and flew straight at the largest pirate vessel. Lisa pushed the engines to full power. The pirates must have thought she was trying to escape because they did not move out of the way until it was too late. The crash was like thunder and lightning happening at the same time. Metal tore and twisted. Glass broke. Sparks flew everywhere. Lisa felt her body slam against her chair, then everything went black. When she woke up, everything hurt. Her head felt like someone was hitting it with a hammer. Her left arm was broken, and blood ran down her face. But she was alive. The room around her was not her ship. It was bigger and darker. Strange lights flickered on the walls. The air smelled wrong, like metal and fear. "You are awake," said a voice. Lisa turned her head and saw something that made her want to scream. It looked like a giant spider with too many eyes and sharp teeth. It was wearing what looked like a doctor's coat. "Where am I?" Lisa tried to sit up, but pain shot through her body. "Nightmare Station," the spider thing said. Its voice was like glass breaking. "You crashed here. Your ship and the pirate ship both. Most people die in the first week here. You probably will too. Where are my friends?" 2 males died in the crash. The female was taken by the Crimson Scales. They like human females for the slave markets. Lisa felt something cold and angry grow in her chest. Jake and Ryan were dead. Amy was captured. She was alone in a place called Nightmare Station. And from what the spider doctor was saying, it was not a good place to be. "What is this place?" she asked. "Prison world. The worst criminals in the galaxy end up here. Different gangs control different areas. They fight, they kill, they take what they want. Guards only stop people from leaving. Everything else is allowed." The spider thing moved closer. "You are from Earth, yes? Deathworld. That is interesting. Most aliens from garden worlds die quickly here. Deathworlders sometimes last longer, but not much longer." Lisa closed her eyes and tried to think. Her military training kicked in. First, gather information. Second, find weapons. Third, make a plan. She was hurt, but she was not dead. That meant she still had a chance. "How do I get out of here?" she asked. The spider laughed, a sound like breaking bones. "You don't. This station is inside a big rock in space. No ships come or go without permission, and the gangs don't give permission." Lisa opened her eyes and looked at the creature. "And I guess I need to talk to these gangs. 3 gangs rule here. Crimson Scales in the upper levels. They are reptile. People who sell slaves. Hive Collective in the middle levels. Bug people who make drugs. Void Touched in the bottom levels. Energy beings who eat fear. All of them will kill you." "We'll see about that," Lisa said. She tried to stand up. Pain shot through her body, but she forced herself to stay upright. The spider doctor looked surprised. "You should rest. Your bones are broken. I've had worse." Lisa started walking toward the door. Each step hurt, but she kept moving. She had work to do. Amy was somewhere in this place, probably scared and hurt. Lisa was going to find her. And anyone who got in her way was going to learn why Earth was called a death world. The door opened, and Lisa Martinez stepped into Nightmare Station. She did not know it yet, but she was about to change everything. Lisa walked through the dark halls of Nightmare Station. Her broken arm was in a rough sling made from torn cloth. Every step hurt, but she kept moving. She had learned long ago that pain was just information. It told you something was wrong, but it did not have to stop you. The station was huge. Halls and rooms went in all directions like a giant maze. The walls were made of black metal, and strange lights cast weird shadows everywhere. She could hear sounds in the distance. Fighting, screaming, and things she did not want to think about. After an hour of walking, 3 aliens stepped out of the shadows in front of her. They looked like lizards that walked on 2 legs. Their skin was dark red, and they had long claws on their hands. One of them was bigger than the others, and had gold rings through his nose. "Look what we got here," the big one said. His voice was like gravel in a bucket. "New meat. And it's human female. Boss will pay good money for this one." "I'm looking for someone," Lisa said. She kept her voice calm and steady. "Human female, about my size, dark hair." She was taken by the Crimson Scales. The 3 lizard men laughed. "You got spirit, I give you that. But you belong to us now. Humans make good slaves. You're tough, you heal fast, and you don't die easy." The big one reached out to grab her arm. Lisa moved faster than he expected. She grabbed his wrist with her good hand and twisted hard. Bone snapped. The alien screamed and fell to his knees. The other 2 jumped at her. Lisa had trained in hand-to-hand combat for years. Even with a broken arm, she was dangerous. She kicked the first one in the knee, hearing it break. He went down. Hard. The second one got his claws around her throat, but Lisa drove her elbow back into his ribs. His grip loosened, and she spun around and hit him in the face. He dropped like a rock dot. The big lizard was still on the ground, holding his broken wrist. "What are you?" he gasped. "I'm from Earth," Lisa said, "and I want my friend back." She left the 3 aliens in the hall and kept walking. Word would spread fast that a new predator was in the station. That was good. Fear was a weapon, and Lisa knew how to use it. She found an information dealer in a small room filled with screens and computers. The alien looked like a mix between an octopus and a brain. It had tentacles instead of arms and big yellow eyes. "Information costs," the creature said when Lisa walked in. "What you got to trade?" Lisa pulled a small device from her pocket. It was her military ID chip, worth a lot of money to the right buyer. She put it on the counter. "I want to know about the Crimson Scales, where they keep prisoners, how many guards, how to get in and out." The brain creature looked at the chip and made happy noises. "Good trade. Crimson Scales run upper level 3 through 7. They got maybe 200 fighters. Keep slaves in level 5. Section C Zethkar is the boss. Big reptile, very mean. He's got a fortress in the center of level 4. What about the other gangs? Hive Collective got level 8 through 12. Bug people. They make drugs and sell them all over the galaxy. Queen SS Kate H runs them. Got maybe 300 workers, but only 50 fighters. Void Touch got the bottom levels. Energy beings. They don't have bodies like you and me. They eat fear and pain. Nobody goes down there if they can help it. Warlord Krex is the big boss of the whole station. He's got a deal with all the gangs. They pay him. He keeps the peace." Lisa took this information and started planning. 3 gangs, different strengths and weaknesses. If she wanted to get Amy back, she needed to hit the Crimson Scales hard and fast. But first, she needed All Eyes Dot. She was walking through level 6 when someone called her name. "Human, wait." Lisa turned around. A tall alien with blue crystal skin walked toward her. She looked female, and she was beautiful in a strange way. Her skin caught the light and threw it back in rainbow colors. "I am Princess Valinara," the crystal woman said. "I have been watching you. You fought 3 Crimson Scales with a broken arm. That is impressive. I'm Lisa Martinez, and you're not a prisoner here, are you?" Valinara laughed, but it sounded sad. "I am exiled from my people, sent here for opposing their war plans. I have been on this station for 2 years. I know how it works. Why are you talking to me?" "Because you might be the first person in years who can change things here. The gangs are getting ready for something big. Warlord Krex is uniting them into one army. He wants to attack the trade routes, maybe take over whole sectors of space." Lisa felt a cold chill. If criminals controlled the trade routes, millions of innocent people would suffer. What does that have to do with me? You're different. Most new arrivals either die or join a gang. You're walking around like you own the place. That takes either stupidity or strength. I don't think you're stupid. Lisa studied the crystal woman. "What do you want?" "I want to go home, but not while my people are starting wars. I want to stop Krex before he destroys everything. I think you might be able to help with that. First, I get my friend back. Then we can talk about the big picture." Valinara smiled. "Fair enough. I can help you with that. I know a secret way into the Crimson Scales territory, and I know when they move their prisoners." Lisa felt hope for the first time since waking up in this nightmare. "What do you want in return?" "When you rescue your friend, you don't run. You stay and fight. This place needs someone who isn't afraid of the gangs." Lisa thought about it. She could try to rescue Amy and steal a ship to escape. But how many other innocent people were trapped here? How many would suffer if Krex built his criminal empire? "Deal," she said. They shook hands. Valinara's crystal skin was warm, not cold like Lisa expected. "There's something else you should know," Valinara said. "The gangs think humans are weak, because most aliens are. They don't understand about Deathworlds. They're going to underestimate you badly. Good, Lisa said. Let them. That night, they made their plan. Valinara knew that the Crimson Scales moved prisoners every 3 days. Tomorrow would be moving day. The guards would be distracted, and there would be a chance to strike. Lisa found a piece of metal pipe and tested its weight. It would work as a weapon. She also found some old military rations in an abandoned room. The aliens couldn't eat them, but human stomachs could handle almost anything. As she ate, Lisa thought about Jake and Ryan. Her friends were dead because she made the choice to ram the pirate ship. It hurt, but she knew it was the right choice. Those kids on the transport ship were alive because of what they did. Now she had to save Amy. And maybe, if Valinara was right, she had to save a lot more people than that Lesa Martinez was about. To learn that sometimes the only way out is through. And sometimes the monsters are afraid of you. The rescue went better than Lisa expected and worse than she hoped. Valinara led her through hidden passages in the station walls. The Crystal Woman knew every secret way, every forgotten tunnel. They moved like ghosts through the darkness. There, Valinara whispered, pointing through a grate. Below them, Lisa could see a room full of cages. Human shapes huddled in some of them. Her heart jumped when she saw Amy in the corner cage. How many guards? Lisa asked. 4. 2 at the main door, 2 patrolling inside. Lisa studied the room. It was big, with high walls and only one way in and out. The guards were reptiles, like the ones she had fought before, but bigger. They carried energy weapons that could cut through steel. I'm going in, Lisa said. That's suicide. Wait for a better chance. There won't be a better chance. They're moving the prisoners tomorrow. After that, Amy disappears forever. Lisa dropped through the grate before Valinara could stop her. She landed behind some storage boxes, making almost no sound. Years of military training had taught her how to move quietly. The first guard never knew what hit him. Lisa came up behind him and put him in a sleeper hold. He struggled for a few seconds, then went limp. She lowered him to the ground gently. The second patrol guard heard a small noise and came to investigate. Lisa was ready. She hit him with the metal pipe she had found. The blow would have killed a human, but the reptile just staggered. His thick skull saved his life, but the noise brought the other 2 guards running. Prisoner loose, one of them shouted. Alert the fortress. Lisa fought like her life depended on it, because it did. She used everything she had learned in 8 years of military service. The aliens were bigger and stronger than normal humans, but Lisa was not a normal human. She was from Earth, where everything tried to kill you. She moved faster than they expected. When they grabbed her, she was already somewhere else. When they shot their weapons, she was behind cover. When they tried to corner her, she attacked from a direction they didn't think was possible. But there were too many of them, and more were coming. Lisa managed to break Amy's cage lock, but her friend was weak and hurt. There was no way they could fight their way out. That's when something amazing happened. Other prisoners started breaking out of their cages. Not just humans, but aliens from a dozen different species. They had been watching Lisa fight, and it gave them hope. She's just one person, shouted a large alien that looked like a bear with 6 arms. If she can fight them, so can we. The room exploded into chaos. Guards came running from all over the upper levels, but the prisoners fought back harder than anyone expected. Lisa found herself leading a full prison break. This way. Valinara called from above. She had opened more grates, creating escape routes. Follow the human. Lisa helped Amy to her feet. Her friend was hurt, but could walk. I knew you'd come, Amy said. I never doubted it. Can you fight? Lisa asked, Amy picked up a dropped energy weapon and checked its charge. Try me. They fought their way through the station corridors. More prisoners joined them as word spread. But they also faced more guards. The reptiles were calling in help from the other gangs. Lisa realized they were trapped. There was nowhere to run in the station. They needed a place to make a stand, somewhere they could defend. The old reactor room, Valinara said. Level 7. Section F. It's big enough for everyone, and there's only 2 ways in. They fought their way to the reactor room. It was a huge space with old machinery and lots of places to hide. Lisa started organizing defenses like she was back in the military. Amy set up a medical station in the back. Anyone who can fight, grab a weapon. Anyone who can't fight, help the wounded. Soon they had nearly 100 freed prisoners in the reactor room. Most were scared, but they were also angry. They had been treated like animals for too long. That's when Zethkar arrived. The reptile leader was huge, bigger than any alien Lisa had seen. His scales were blood red, and his eyes glowed like fire. He had 20 guards with him, all carrying the best. Weapons. Human, he roared. You have caused me much trouble. Give yourself up, and I will kill the others quickly. Lisa stepped forward. She was tired, hurt, and outnumbered. But she had learned something important. Fear was a weapon, and it worked both ways. I have a better idea, she said. You leave us alone, and I won't kill you. Zethkar laughed. You? Kill me? You are just one small human. I'm not just human, Lisa said. I'm from Earth. Do you know what that means? The laughter died. Every alien in the galaxy had heard stories about Earth. The death world where everything was poisonous, where the weather could kill you, where the animals hunted in packs and never gave up. It means I've been fighting to stay alive since the day I was born, Lisa continued. It means pain doesn't stop me, fear doesn't slow me down, and I never, ever give up. Your people might be bigger and stronger, but you've never had to live on a world that was trying to kill you every second. Of every day. She took a step forward. Zethkar took a step back. Here's what's going to happen, Lisa said. You're going to leave us alone. You're going to stop hunting prisoners for sport. And you're going to help us when Warlord Krex comes calling. Because he's going to come, and when he does, you'll need all the allies you can get. Why would I help you? Because I'm offering you something better than what you have now. Right now, you work for Krex. You pay him tribute, you follow his orders, you get the scraps he throws you. But what if you didn't have to? Lisa could see she had his attention. What if instead of fighting each other for the little bit of power, Krex allows you to have, we work together? What if we took over this whole station? Impossible. Krex has too much power. Krex has power because you give it to him. Because you're all so busy fighting each other that you never noticed how weak he really is. But I've been watching. I've been learning. And I know how to win. Lisa walked closer to the huge reptile. I'm not asking you to trust me. I'm asking you to be smart. Help me, and when this is over, you'll control more territory than you ever dreamed of. Fight me, and Krex will use our war to destroy us both. Zethkar stared at her for a long moment. Lisa could see him thinking, weighing his options. Finally, he spoke. What do you want from me? Information about Krex's defenses. Help coordinating with the other gangs. And when the time comes, fighters who know how to win. And what do I get? The upper levels. All of them. Plus a share of anything we take from Krex's treasure rooms. It was a bold offer, maybe too bold. But Lisa had learned that sometimes you had to risk everything to win anything. Zethkar held out his clawed hand. Deal, human. But if you betray me, I will hunt you to the ends of the galaxy. Lisa shook his hand. His claws could have cut her in half, but they closed gently around her fingers. "If I betray you, I'll deserve it," she said. As they shook hands, Lisa realized she had just changed everything. She wasn't just trying to escape anymore. She was building an army. And somewhere, in the depths of Nightmare Station, Warlord Krex was about to learn that a new player had entered the game. The war began 3 days after Lisa made her deal with Zethkar. Warlord Krex did not send a message or make threats. He just attacked. His forces hit 5 different locations at the same time, trying to crush Lisa's growing alliance before it could become dangerous. Lisa was ready. "Amy, get down to the medical station," she said as alarms rang through their base. "Velinara, coordinate with our allies. Zethkar, get your best fighters to the north entrance." Lisa had turned the old reactor room into a command center. Maps covered the walls, showing every level of the station. Red marks showed Krex's territory, blue marks showed her allies, and green marks showed targets. Enemy forces coming from levels 2, 5, 8, 11, and 15, reported a spider-like alien who had joined them. His name was Chix, and he was very good with computers. Multiple species. Looks like Krex convinced all the gangs to work together. How many total? Maybe 800 fighters. Lisa felt her stomach tighten. Her alliance had maybe 300 fighters, and most of them were not professional soldiers. But numbers were not everything. She had advantages that Krex did not understand. "Send word to all units," she said. "Execute Plan Thunder." Plan Thunder was something new in the station's history. Instead of meeting the enemy head-on in big battles, Lisa's forces would hit and run. They would attack, cause damage, then disappear before the enemy could fight back. Lisa had learned this kind of fighting in the military. It was called guerrilla warfare, and it worked best when you were outnumbered, but knew the territory better than your enemy. "Level 2 team, report," she said into her radio. "We hit their supply convoy," came the reply. "Destroyed 6 vehicles, captured their weapons. No casualties on our side. Level 8 team? Ambushed their patrol. Took out 12 fighters, captured. Their leader, we're pulling back now." Lisa smiled. This was working. Krex's forces were used to big, direct fights. They did not know how to handle enemies who appeared from nowhere, hit hard, and vanished, but Krex was not stupid. After 6 hours of hit-and-run attacks, he changed his strategy. "Captain, we got a problem," Schick said. "Krex is pulling his forces back. He's gathering them all in the central hub." Lisa looked at the map. The central hub was the heart of the eye. Station, a huge open space where all the levels connected. If Krex controlled it, he could stop her forces from moving between levels. "He's trying to force us into a direct fight," Velinara said. "If we want to stop him, we have to attack his stronghold." "That's what he wants," Lisa replied. "The hub is a killing ground. Open space, no cover. His forces can use their superior numbers. So what do we do?" Lisa studied the map for a long moment. There had to be another way. There was always another way if you were smart enough to find it. "Chix, show me the station's power grid." The spider alien brought up a new display. Lines of light showed how electricity flowed through the station. Lisa traced the lines with her finger, following the power from the reactors to the different levels. "There," she said, pointing to a junction box on level 12. "If we cut power there, we kill the lights in the central hub. And the artificial gravity. Fighting in zero gravity and darkness?" Zethkar asked. "That's insane." "Not if you're used to it," Lisa said. "I trained for zero-G combat in the military. Most of your people have never fought without gravity, but humans are adaptable. We can learn to fight anywhere." "What about the enemy?" "Krex's people are used to having advantages. Superior numbers, better weapons, control of the territory. Take all that away, and they'll panic. Lisa turned to her assembled commanders. Reptiles, insects, energy beings, and a dozen other species, all working together for the first time in the station's history. "This is going to be dangerous," she said. "We'll be fighting in conditions none of us are used to. Some of us will die. But if we win, we take the station. We end Krex's rule forever." "What are your orders?" asked Queen Scythe of the Hive Collective. The Insect Queen had joined Lisa's alliance after seeing how well the hit-and-run tactics worked. 3 teams. Team 1 cuts the power. Team 2 creates a distraction at the main entrance. Team 3 comes through the maintenance tunnels and hits them from behind. "Which team are you leading?" Zethkar asked. "All of them," Lisa said. "I'll be with Team 3 for the main assault." A plan was risky, but it was their best chance. Lisa gathered her best fighters and led them through the dark tunnels beneath the station. The maintenance passages were narrow and hot, but they led directly to the central hub. When the lights went out, Lisa heard shouting and confusion from above. Krex's forces were panicking, just like she hoped. "Now," she whispered into her radio. "Lisa." And her team burst into the central hub from below. In the darkness and zero gravity, the battle was like nothing anyone had ever seen. Bodies floated through the air, energy beams cut through the darkness, and screams echoed off the walls. Lisa moved through the chaos like a deadly ghost. Her military training had included zero-G combat, and she used every trick she knew. She pushed off walls to change direction, used floating debris as shields, and struck from angles that her enemies could not predict. But the real advantage was psychological. Krex's forces had never been in a fair fight. They were used to having every advantage, used to their enemies being weak and scared. Now they were fighting in conditions they had never trained for, against an enemy who seemed to appear from nowhere. Lisa found Krex in the center of the hub, surrounded by his best guards. The warlord was huge, even bigger than Zethkar. His body was made of some kind of living metal that gleamed in the weapon flashes. "Human," he roared. "Face me." Lisa flew through the zero gravity toward him. This was it, the final test. If she could beat Krex in single combat, his remaining forces would surrender. If she lost, her alliance would fall apart. Krex swung a massive sword that could cut through steel. Lisa twisted in the air, letting the blade pass by her head. She landed on his arm and ran up it like a ladder, moving too fast for him to catch. The fight was brutal. Krex was stronger and had better weapons, but Lisa was faster and smarter. She used the zero gravity to her advantage, bouncing off walls, and floating debris to attack from unexpected angles. Finally, she found her opening. Krex swung his sword too wide, leaving himself open. Lisa grabbed a piece of broken metal and drove it through a gap in his armor. The warlord screamed and went limp. The battle was over. "Krex is dead," Lisa shouted. "Surrender now, and you live. Keep fighting, and you die with him." One by one, Krex's forces stopped fighting. They had followed him because he was strong, because he won. Now he was dead, and they had no reason to keep fighting. Lisa floated in the darkness of the central hub, surrounded by the defeated enemy. She had won. The station was hers, but as she looked around at the destruction, at the bodies floating in the darkness, Lisa realized that winning was just the beginning. Now she had to figure out how to rule. The prisoners and outcasts were looking at her, waiting for orders. 3 different alien species, hundreds of individuals, all depending on her to know what to do next. Lisa Martinez had wanted to rescue her friend and escape. Instead, she had started a revolution. And now she had to finish it. 6 months later, Nightmare Station was a different place. Lisa stood in what used to be Krex's throne room, but she had changed it completely. Instead of a single big chair where one person could sit and give orders, there was a round table with seats for 12. Representatives from every group on the station sat there, making decisions together. "The hydroponics farms are producing enough food for everyone," reported Chicks, the spider alien who now managed the station's resources. "We're even growing some crops that other stations want to buy. Medical facilities are running at full capacity," added Amy. "We've treated injuries that would have been death sentences under the old system. Mortality rates are down 60%. Lisa nodded. These were good reports, but she knew they were just the beginning. Building a new society was harder than winning a war. What about the external situation? She asked Velinara. The crystal woman looked worried. "The Galactic Council is calling us a threat to sector security. They're saying we're training terrorists and planning attacks on peaceful worlds." "Are we?" asked Zethkar. The reptile had become Lisa's most trusted ally, but he still thought like a warrior. "No," Lisa said firmly. "We defend ourselves, but we don't attack innocent people. That's what makes us different from the old gangs." "The Council doesn't see it that way," Velinara continued. "They're building a fleet. 50 warships, maybe more. They want to retake the station and put their own people in charge." Lisa felt the familiar tightness in her stomach that came before a battle. She had hoped they would have more time to build their new society, but the galaxy was not going to leave them alone. "How long do we have?" "Maybe 3 months before they're ready to attack." Lisa looked around the table. These people had followed her through a revolution, trusted her to lead them to something better. Now she had to decide if they would fight again or try to find another way. "We need to talk to them," she said finally. "Talk to the Council?" Zethkar sounded surprised. "They want to destroy us. They want to destroy what they think we are. Pirates, criminals, terrorists. But we're not those things anymore. We're something new." Lisa stood up and walked to the big window that looked out over the station. She could see the docking bays where ships came and went, the markets where people from different species traded goods, the schools where children learned together. 6 months ago, this place was hell, she said. People lived in fear, died for entertainment, and had no hope for anything better. Now look at it. She turned back to face the table. We have trade agreements with 12 different systems. Our medical facilities are treating patients from across the sector. Our technical schools are training engineers who can't get education anywhere else. We're not a criminal organization anymore. We're a civilization. The Council won't care about that, Velinara said. They see us as a threat to their power. Then we have to show them they're wrong. We have to prove that we're not trying to destroy anything. We're trying to build something better. Lisa had been thinking about this for weeks. The old way of doing things was to fight until one side was completely defeated. But there had to be another way. I'm going to the Council, Lisa said. I'm going to talk to them face to face. The room exploded with voices. Everyone was talking at once, most of them saying it was too dangerous. They'll arrest you the moment you step off the ship, Amy said. Or worse, added Zethkar. They might decide to make an example of you. Lisa held up her hand for quiet. Maybe, but if I don't try, we'll end up fighting a war that nobody wins. They have 50 ships. We have 1 station. Even if we win, how many people die? What makes you think they'll listen? Asked Queen SS Kate H. Because I'm not going to talk to them like a criminal or a rebel. I'm going to talk to them like the leader of a legitimate government. We have territory, we have citizens, we have trade relationships. By galactic law, that makes us a sovereign state. Velinara looked thoughtful. It's crazy enough that it might work. The Council likes to follow their own rules, even when those rules work against them. I'll need witnesses, Lisa continued. Representatives from our major trading partners. Medical patients we've helped. Engineers we've trained. People who can testify that we're not the monsters the Council thinks we are. Over the next month, Lisa prepared for the most important speech of her life. She studied galactic law, practiced her arguments, and gathered evidence of everything good they had accomplished. The day before she left for the council chambers, Lisa walked through the station one more time. She visited the medical center where Amy was training alien doctors in new surgical techniques. She stopped by the schools where human and alien children played together. She toured the workshops where former gang members were building machines that made life better for everyone. "You don't have to do this," Amy said as they stood in the docking bay. "We could fight. We've beaten impossible odds before. Fighting is what got us here," Lisa replied. "But building something better is what keeps us here. If we want to survive long term, we need the galaxy to see us as partners, not enemies." The trip to the council chambers took 3 days. Lisa traveled in a small diplomatic ship with Velinara and a dozen witnesses. As they approached the massive space station where the Galactic Council met, Lisa could see the fleet assembled around it. 50 warships, just like Velinara had said, all of them ready to destroy everything Lisa had built. The council chambers were enormous. Representatives from 1,000 different worlds sat in rising circles around a central platform. Lisa had never seen so many different species in one place. Some looked almost human. Others were so alien she could not guess how they thought or moved. The council recognizes Lisa Martinez, claiming to represent the criminal organization known as Nightmare Station, announced the speaker, a tall being covered in blue fur. "I represent the Independent Station Alliance," Lisa corrected, "a legitimate government that seeks recognition and peaceful relations with the Galactic Council." Murmurs ran through the chamber. This was not what they had expected. "You are a human from Earth," said a voice from the higher seats. "Your species is known for violence and aggression. You have taken over a criminal haven and claim to have reformed it. Why should we believe you?" Lisa had prepared for this question. "Because you can verify everything I'm about to tell you. 6 months ago, Nightmare Station was indeed a criminal haven. Murder, slavery, and drug trafficking were common. The mortality rate was 80% per year." She activated a holographic display that showed statistics, medical records, and trade agreements. Today, the mortality rate is 12% per year, mostly from accidents and old age. We have active trade relationships with 47 systems. Our medical facilities have treated over 10,000 patients from across the sector. Our technical schools have graduated 500 engineers who are now working in systems throughout the galaxy. "These could be fabricated," another council member said. "Then investigate," Lisa replied. "Send your own inspectors. Interview our trading partners. Talk to the patients we've treated. The evidence is all real because the change is real." Lisa walked closer to the center of the chamber. "I know what you're thinking. Humans are dangerous. We're from a death world. We're natural fighters. We can't be trusted to live peacefully. And 6 months ago, you would have been right about me." She paused, making eye contact with as many council members as she could. "But here's what you don't understand about humans. Yes, we're fighters. Yes, we're from a dangerous world. But that's not all we are. We're also builders. When we see something broken, we don't just destroy it. We fix it. When we see people suffering, we don't just walk away. We help. What are you proposing?" The speaker asked. "Recognition of the Independent Station Alliance as a legitimate government, trade agreements that benefit everyone, and proof that humans can be partners in building a better galaxy, not just soldiers in your wars." The chamber fell silent. Lisa could see the council members talking among themselves, but she could not hear what they were saying. Finally, the speaker stood up. "The council will deliberate. You will have our answer in 3 days." Those 3 days were the longest of Lisa's life. She waited in a small diplomatic hotel, wondering if she had just saved her people or doomed them. On the 3rd day, she was called back to the chamber. "The council has reached a decision," the speaker announced. "By a vote of 612 to 388, we grant provisional recognition to the Independent Station Alliance. You will have 1 year to prove that your reforms are permanent and beneficial to galactic security." Lisa felt her knees go weak with relief. They had won, not through violence or fear, but through proof that they were better than what they had been. "Thank you," she said. "You won't regret this decision?" As Lisa left the chamber, she thought about how far she had come. 6 months ago, she had been a cargo captain trying to survive a crash landing. Now she was the leader of a new kind of society, one that proved humans could be more than just warriors. She returned to the station to find celebrations in every sector. The news had traveled fast, and everyone knew what it meant. They were safe. They were legitimate. They were home. Lisa stood in her office, looking out at the bustling station. Amy was training new doctors. Zethkar was negotiating trade deals. Valinara